What's the fastest way to know for sure that what you're buying is actually sustainable? I mean, you did see the title of the video, right? Hello everybody, I'm Lal. Welcome back to Sustainable Jungle, where we share sustainability tips, tricks, hacks, products, brands, and stories to better our blue planet. So today is a fun talk, right? Wrong. Oh, so wrong. It is not a fun topic. Oh, it's like the opposite of fun. Why are you watching? How have you got this far? Anyway, medicine, it's good for you. You just got to swallow it. Just grind through this with me. This is good for you. This is good for you. Okay, let's talk about the parameters of what a sustainability certification exactly is, because I have no idea. Just kidding. Sort of. You've probably seen a number of seemingly meaningless acronyms on the tags of your favorite organic clothing brands, but what's the play here? Well, think of them as an insignia awarded to brands and products that have upheld or exceeded certain environmental and social standards, sort of like a badge of honor to show they've reduced the impact on people and the planet. I mean, while these standards vary depending on the certification program, each one has its own framework for some aspect of sustainability, like low impact sourcing, sustainable materials, and absence of toxic chemicals. And these certifications are awarded after lab testing and or audits by hopefully impartial third-party agencies, after usually paying a hefty fee, of course. And you can find sustainability certifications that cover fashion, homewares, or for the whole manufacturing process and the buildings in which they occur. Different ones cover different stages of the manufacturing or sourcing processes, while some cover the entire supply chain. Some verify products, others verify whole entities. It's a mess out there. Ugh, for us, consumers. And that's not even going into the whole legitimacy and reliability issues. I mean, that's just a whole bunch of scary. But to answer the question, what is a sustainability certification? Well, it's any accreditation that confirms some or other eco-related standard or process has been upheld. Sustainability, is often a moving target, and the same goes with these certs. But we aren't striving for perfection here, right? We're aiming to do better, hopefully consistently better. On that note, let's whip through this topic before you fall asleep on me. First up, sustainable sourcing certifications. Sustainable sourcing certifications. Try to say that 3 times fast. We have GOTS, Global Organic Textile Standard, Fairtrade, and USDA, or the US Department of Agriculture. But let's start with arguably the most recognized fashion certification, which is GOTS. I don't know if you can see that. Well, this one can certify any organic material, and you'll find it on apparel, home textiles, fiber products, yarns, fabrics, food contact materials, personal care products, and mattresses. It's most well known though through the cotton circles. And this certification involves the entire product process from start to finish, including farmers, weavers, spinning, dyeing, and manufacturing. And all stages of the supply chain must be transparent and reported to an independent certifying body that approves this label for use. If a product contains 95% or more organic material, it receives the GOTS certified organic label. For those between 70 and 94%, I think, the label has got to disclose that on the product. GOTS is not without a little bit of controversy though. Some GOTS certified organic cotton farms have been forgetting about the organic part. So in other words, it's just cotton. But this is still, all things considered, one of the best organic certs out there. So don't let a little bit of fraud put you off. Next up we have is Fairtrade. Can you see the logo there? Yep, well, it's one of the best certifications for sustainability and ethics alike, not to mention one of the most widely applicable. What it certifies differs depending on the specific certifier, but usually covers food, sugar, cocoa, coffee, apparel, handicrafts like Fairtrade jewelry, minerals and farms, or mines of raw materials. And the term Fairtrade actually refers to multiple independent bodies that all operate under slightly different names and definitions of what Fairtrade actually means. But the most common are Fairtrade Certified, also known as Fairtrade USA or Fairtrade America, and Fairtrade International. They each have their own approach to certifying, but essentially any green business with their labels are held to standards that cover sustainable income, fair labor practices, care for individual workers and communities, social empowerment, and environmental stewardship. a product or aspects of a product or the facilities where a product is made, they can all happily receive the certification. Fairtrade International in particular is regarded as one of the most trustworthy certs because of its intensive audit by independent certification body FlowCert. And which certification do you think of when you think of food? USDA Organic? Because they certify organic food, drink, personal care items, and textiles. But they're most obviously recognized for putting their stamp of approval on food. And if you see their stamp, it verifies that the farmers and handling facilities located anywhere in the world have complied happily with the USDA Organic regulations. What does that mean? I don't really know. Just kidding. Sort of. Well, there are different rules and processes for each type of food, from produce to meat to processed foods, multi-ingredient foods, and packaged foods. And products cannot be grown, I know this much, using toxic and synthetic pesticides, fertilizers, antibiotics, synthetic growth hormones, genetic engineering, artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, and sewage sludge. Really? They had to say that? Oh. Anyway, becoming certified organic is a rigorous multi-step process, and it is one of the most monitored, transparent, and regulated labels in the US. And, one of the only food certs out there. But despite the audits and testing and oversight, USDA Organic is not without some little bit of drama, with past allegations pointing to fake organic imports to the US. But look, all things considered, this is still a legitimate certification, okay? And arguably the most sexy certification right now is B Corp. B Corp is so hot right now. They're like the creme de la creme of ESG, or environmental and social governance certificates. They certify any for-profit businesses, from banks to fashion brands, that pursue social good. To date, something like 3,500 companies across 77 countries are certified, like Ben & Jerry's, Danone, Dr. Bronner's, Patagonia. But it's actually a separate body independent of B Corp called B Labs Global, that does the certifying. And each company has got to score a minimum on their B Impact Assessment, which is an evaluation of the business's impact on the environment, workers, community, and consumers. And you can look up every certified B Corp and its impact scores in their online directory. But what the company actually supplies as part of their application process is not public record. And transparency aside, some critics have called out B Corp for allowing brands like Nespresso to join the ranks, with a history of human rights violations and pretty unsustainable single-use product. We can't help but agree. And there's also the application fees, which range from hundreds to tens of thousands, depending on the company size and worth, that have also called into question the ethics of B Labs, whose funding relies on membership money. Look, all that said though, we'd bet that the majority of companies wearing that little B right there are legitimate, and we still see their logo as a green flag. That's B Corp. The next one doesn't get as much airtime, but it is still worth looking out for. The GRS, or Global Recycle Standard, certifies any textile, plastic, metal, and paper product made with recycled content. You may know Recycle Claim Standard, or RCS. Well, they join forces with GRS to form the ultimate recycled content accreditation body. And you can find their label in over 50 countries. And when you do see it on a product, it means that a minimum of 50% recycled content has actually been used to create that pair of sunglasses. And it also means that throughout the entire supply chain, from ginning, spinning, weaving, knitting, dyeing, cutting, sewing, print, everything, okay? Each entity has maintained the identity of the recycled content to ensure that that minimum requirement is met. And you won't find GRS certified material that's been produced using toxic chemicals, as defined by REACH, which is EU's regulations on evaluation, authorization, restriction of chemical regulations. Oh, that's a mouthful. And ZDHC, which is the Manufacturing Restricted Substances List. Whew. The ESG cert also means full traceability across the entire chain of custody, sets social standards in alignment with the ILO or International Labour Organization, like no forced or child labor. It enforces environmental requirements around chemicals and waste, energy and water use and emissions, etc., etc. They don't fool around, clearly. And you have to recertify every single year, and audits are conducted by a variety of independent third-party agencies. And we couldn't find any controversies or accusations of greenwashing against this one. I mean, could this be the most reliable sustainability certification for fashion? Maybe. Maybe. Now, this next certification gets the award for the most all caps in its title. OEKO certifies textiles like homewares, clothing, footwear, and leather goods. It's one of the world's best known labels for textile safety, and there are several tiers under the OEKO certification umbrella. Can you see that one there? This is a baby blanket, by the way. Standard 100 is the most common though. It certifies that all components of a product, that's threads, zippers, tags, and trims, are tested for toxic substances. And a step above both the standard 100 is the STEP by OEKO. That's short for Sustainable Textile and Leather Production. This not only considers toxicity of materials, but factors in eco-friendly manufacturing, environmental management, worker safety, and social responsibility across the entire supply chain. Unlike other voluntary and unenforceable certifications, STEP by OEKO requires the signing of a code of conduct, which actually means that the brand or company is legally accountable to that standard. And finally, there's Made in Green by OEKO, which is traceability initiative that allows you to actually see the manufacturing details of a product by scanning the QR tag on the QR code on the tag with their label. Although to get this, you need the standard 100 and you need the STEP certifications. And also just a point of clarification, but OEKO is not actually an eco label. It's first and foremost a health label for textiles. But fortunately, what's good for you tends to be better for the planet too. And last but not least is Made Safe, which certifies non-toxic clothing, bedding, home textiles, personal care items, baby and child care items, and menstrual products. There's just over 6,500 chemicals which are currently banned from Made Safe list. To get certified, companies send the list of their products' ingredients and sub-ingredients, which Made Safe then checks against their list. If the product passes, then ingredients pass through to the next Made Safe chemicals database and ecosystem screening, which looks at manufacturing transparency, formulation processes, how each substance is used in context, bioaccumulation, environmental persistence, soil and water toxicity, human health effects. Even if there's a little traceable amount of toxins, you get no love from Made Safe, which is why no brand has ever achieved their certification. Just kidding. I'm sure there's many. In fact, you can look up their certified products in the online database, which I'll link to in the comments. Just keep in mind though that Made Safe is not a full scope ESG certification. It does not address product packaging, manufacturing ethics, labor practices, sourcing issues like deforestation and biodiversity. Oh, that wasn't so painful, right? You can be honest. I know, it was bad. It was bad. It's so dry. It's so dry. Ugh. Oh. Anyway, what's the takeaway here? What's the takeaway? What did you learn? Well, certifications they're the fastest way to bet on green. Okay, finding a product with one or more of these logos is basically the easiest way to practice sustainable living. And if you're gonna consume, which I know you are, you might as well do it right. Huh? You don't want to be that guy. Having said that, not all companies and brands can afford certification. Often these are small brands and they should still absolutely be supported. And certifications also are not always a guarantee that what you're buying is in fact eco-friendly, which is why you should do a little bit of research and read the ingredients or label, which I know you love to do, you little eco warrior, you. I'll add links to all the resources I mentioned and specific deep dives we've done on most of these certs. And of course, there are many other certifications because otherwise life would be too easy. So I'll link to our comprehensive list below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like button, all the buttons. If sustainable living is your thing, I'm Lyle from Sustainable Jungle. Much love and conscious consumption always, friends.